All right, folks, welcome back to our preview show. This time we are over the pond and we are doing entry, the first day of entry, and we will start with the 145. It's grade one novice. Chase. I was a bit torn here between two, the Shunter and Hitman, but I'm going for Cobden and Nichols here. Um, this lad immediately went into my tracker off last Chase debut. Um, Look, he's such a cool and enjoyable horse to watch, and he's only a 5-year old. He had basically a racecourse gallop last time out. He was only a field of three, but the other two weren't in his league. Um, I can see him beating the Shunter here. He's 5-2, and to be honest, I'm going to make a bold statement here. I think he could win a race at Cheltenham in the next 2 years.
Just this is a hard race. Like looking at it, Eduardo Allen has been ahead of Susie Raffles before, runner up to Shishkin last time out. Like Protectorat, Hitman, Protectorat and Hitman both sidestepped Cheltenham to come here. Like the Shunter had a hard enough race. I'm gonna take Susie Raffles at 3-1 just for a bit of value. Like I just think that the flatter track might play a wee bit more on their strengths, and I think Nicky Henderson coming back into a wee bit of form can't do any worse than he did at Cheltenham, so I'll take Fusey Rassels each way.
Yeah, no, look, lads, you probably know I'm going to go for the Shunter. Very sweet at Cheltenham. I think this is probably his best chance of winning a Grade 1. I think it's a weak enough Grade 1. He's gone from 140 to 153 in the handicap. Now, that brings him £2 off Fusel Raffles, and he's going to leave him £2 higher than Hitman. I think he loved the ground. I think he travels well enough. I think Jordan Gainford will give him a crack of a ride at Cheltenham. Brian Hayes takes over this time around. He's fresh from running a Grade 2 on easy game at Fairyhouse over the weekend. As we know, Emmett Mullins places his horses very well. He's lately enough raced. Now, look, there's been plenty of money in the anti-post market. I think 11-2 and the 7-2. Look, I'm happy at that. I think he'll go very close here.
Yep.
Just looking at that, Alan, whenever you were saying there he was rated 140 going up to 153, would you be worried considering that Jordan Gainsford claimed £7 that day in Cheltenham as well, so technically he's gone up it's another 7 on top of that?
I don't know. I think he won. I thought he won with a wee bit in hand at Cheltenham. Now, look at the drying ground and everything, I'd say is going to suit him. I think there'll be plenty of pace in this. Like Ryan said, Hitman, Protectorate, they like to go forward. I think it'll be a case of Brian Hayes just sit and let him travel away.
Yeah, as you say, we've seen whenever he won the Moor Battle in the hurdle, the 2 miles kind of was quick enough for him. He didn't, he seemed to want the extra distance. So the extra distance, well, he's running over the same trap here, but that should play on their strengths,
Yeah.
We will move on to the Grade 1 Juvenile Hurdle, the 220. It's hard to look past favour here on Monmiro. Could be a double for the connections. Well, if it might have anything to go by, it will be. Paul Nichols, Harry Cobden again. He's been unbeaten so far in 4 starts and beat the promising Moor horse Nasalam by 7.5 lengths last time out. He also won a Grade 2 at Doncaster before that. I can't see anything getting close to him in this race.
I would agree with you, Ryan. He definitely does look to stand out. I've gone against him, though. I've gone for a bit of value, with a small bit of value in Adagio for Tom Scudamore and David Pipe. I just think runner up to Calexios and the Triumph was impressive enough, given that it was never really given a chance in the betting or whatever you would call it. With the other horses there, I just think flat track, we know he stays well after chasing Calexios home. If the run hasn't come too quick for him, I think he could be give your one a hell of a run.
Yeah, look, Ryan, I'll agree with you on Monmoral. I thought he's been very impressive this season. He's unbeaten in 4. He actually beat a stablemate of Paul Nichols' Hell Red back in Otay in March 2020. I watched that back, and he was very, very good that day. Look, he won well in Doncaster and Haydock. He had Elm Valley just on a line of form. You mentioned Nasalam. Elm Valley was 30 lengths back and third the last time. Now, we chatted to Fergal O'Brien, and he mentioned about Ellen Valley. Ellen Valley went on to finish third in the Boodles behind Jeff Kidder, and Jeff Kidder's actually come out and won again since. So like that's frank that form. Look, Mon Morale 10 to 11 even money. Like I'd say, look, he should win. He looks like he'll go very close.
Yeah, completely in agreement with John. We will move on, I suppose, to the big race of the day, the Betway Bowl. It's got everything you want, hasn't it? It's got Tiger Roll, two-time Grand National winner, cross-country winner multiple times, Native River, former Gold Cup winner, fourth in this year's Gold Cup, and Clan de Zobo is twice a King George winner. I have gone against all three of them. I am going for a waiting patiently. Very lightly race this year. Second or third in the Clarence House and second in the King George this year. He has been competing at the highest level for the past 3 years, I suppose. He's very, very consistent. He's run 15 times. He's won 7 of them. And he's never come outside of the top 3 except for Fulham once at Kenton. That was in the King George. I wait patiently, looks value here.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm in the same boat as you. I've gone waiting patiently there as well, 7-2, or make it bigger than some of the rest of the firms. This lad, he's been slightly unlucky over the years. Like, he's run onto some nice sorts there, like just looking down through his farm. He was second to King George behind Frodon, which is no real disgrace given what Frodon has done over the years. First row in Politolog. Politolog would have been up there contesting the championship this year had something that went wrong in the prelims. Then run back down to 2019 at Sandown behind Defi de Soy and Undeso. Like, them's not bad company to be keeping. Flat track, I think that they've bypassed Cheltenham wisely to come here, and I think he could take all the stopping.
Yeah, lads, look, I'll follow you in. I fancy him as well. I think just it was kind of a process of elimination for me. Native River had a very hard race in Cheltenham in the Gold Cup. Clan de Zobo, look, I don't think he's a massive fan of Aintree. Can't seem to get across the line in front. But you go back to waiting patiently, Ryan, I think you mentioned it all. Second to Frodon and the King George. Clan de Zobo was back in third on that occasion. Behind first flow in the Clarence House. I think the ground, track, everything's perfect. Great man on board in Brian Hughes. And it should go very close as well.
Yeah, 100%. Probably the first horse and probably the only horse we'll all be in agreement on. We'll move on to the 325. It's the Aintree Hurdle, Grade 1. I've gone for Henry de Bromhead, good fan of the show. I went for his horse, Jason Militant. Won the Red Mills Hurdle at Fairyhouse, beating Petit Mouchoir. Bet Petit Mouchoir fairly comfortably that day. It's a tougher test here, but I think he can get the job done. Yeah,
I'm in agreement. Ryan, again, missed out in Cheltenham, come here. The danger, I think, on here, although there's a few, obviously, a good few in the race, but the danger, I think, is brewing up a storm. Has found a resurgence of life since switching back to hurdles. He could be the main danger, but I do think that Jason de Militant is good enough to win this. And he definitely will be on the shake-up. And, when he sidestepped Cheltenham, if there was something potentially wrong, could have waited to punch us down. Isn't going here, nice flat track, will stay, won impressively enough at Fairyhouse. I just think he could take all the beating here.
Yeah, well, I looked at this card on Tuesday when the decks came out, and I was like all over McFabulous for this race. Looking at the market tonight, McFabulous is heading towards 11-2, and it's a very, very, very strange drift. Course winner landed a bumper here back in 2019. Look, the trip, everything looks ideal on a flat track. He stays. Paul Nichols did mention that they're going to go for the Stayers Hurdle earlier in the season. Didn't find, he didn't get 3 mile. I think this 2.5 will be perfect. He's probably getting to an each way price now. So I keep an eye on the market, but it might tell all tomorrow.
Yep. We will move on to the Fox Hunters. Dean, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. The Fox Hunters, and it's probably going to be no surprise. I'm going to be pretty boring here. I'm going to go for Billoway. For back on board Patrick Mullins. I think Patrick Mullins is the key to this lad. Paul Townsend was not This lad seems to be the type of horse you have to kind of know really well, and like Patrick is made for these type of races, And I just think with that Patrick back on board, missing out at Cheltenham, I think that could be key. One I will flag up at a big price, just for a thing, mate. Utello Conte used to be with Simon and Isaac, Simon Munir and Isaac Swade. I see there he is running for Philip Rowley and Ben Bromley, 6 to 1. Like, if he brings any sort of old form back at all, he could be in the shake-up at a big price. But I think this is Billaway all day.
Yeah, look, it's probably going to be which horse will take to these fences. Like, it's our first look at the national fences. So I'm actually going to put up Some Man. It's going to be ridden by Barry O'Neill. I was very, very impressed with him on St. Patrick's Day when he absolutely won in a canter at Down Royal, beating Complete Season by 12 lengths. He likes to get on with things. Now, I know Billaway likes to get on it as well, and they'll probably take each other on up front. It could just be a case of them both maybe just jumping away, taking it nice and handy. Patrick and Barry O'Neill, two very good jockeys. This horse, relatively lately raced 8-year-old, he actually cost 165,000 back in April 2017 and was trained by Paul Nichols. He was sold for 5,500, so it'd be quite a story if he was able to land the Fox Hunters here.
Yeah, Dean, I am in complete agreement with you, and it's really great to see Utello Conte back. I actually wrote down in my notes too. Came fourth in a point recently, and when I was with Elliot, it wasn't kind of fizzled out, didn't it? So it's great to see him back. We'll move on to the Red Rum Grade 3 Chase. I went for an each way shout here. So Rebecca Menzies and Nathan Muscrop. He's claiming £3 here. Turned into a very nice horse since leaving Paul Nichols. 3 wins this season, and I think could put on a good showing here, provided it gets a bit of rain. 28-1 looks very big, especially if it does get that rain.
Yeah, I'm going for a former winner of this race, Moon Over Germany, trained by Henry de Bromhead and owned by Philip Reynolds. Very interesting jockey booking in Jordan Gameford claiming the Snavel. He won this race in 2019 off 136. Jordan's claim is going to bring him down to 138, so that leaves him, look, he's probably just £2 higher. He had a lovely little pipe opener back in Nav and back in March, so with 4-5 behind leading Grand National Hope any second now. I think he's pretty much laid out for this race, and he was very, very impressive. I think he won by 10 lengths under Rachel Blackmore back 2 years ago, and I can see him going very close here.
We will move on to the bumper then. I can't look past Eileen Dover. I know it's not on favourite. This has been the target for the Purposely Swayed Cheltenham. She won a listed bumper at Market Raisin very, very comfortably. I can't see her being beat here.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat, Ryan. I think this is I know it's odds on, but if you're wanting a stocking filler for a double or treble or whatever, she's going to take all the beating. Like she's head and shoulders above anything that we've seen, given that Grangie came out and won a Grade 2 bumper in Leopardstown, then after getting beat by her and heavier ground. They were on about going maybe on the flat for this horse too for a bit, so the drying ground probably wouldn't be a concern, given that you're going to get dry ground on the flat anyway. Just at an outsider there, heartbreaker for Michael Bell, Harry Cobden. Now, when they've teamed up, they've actually 100% record, 1 from 1. It's just something, it's just probably a silly thing. But if you're looking for one at a bit of value, a wee bit of a stat like that would always catch my eye.
Yeah, look, lads, we'll just finish it off. I'd say 3 for 3. Eileen Dover for me as well. She's won by a total of 51.5 lengths in 3 races. That's more than enough. At Paul O'Brien, I'd say he won't have too many better spins around the entry. So I'd say sit tight, hold on, and I'd say she'll go on and win easy enough.
Yep. And before we go, boys, snap next class each way. And we'll start with you.
I'm going to nap up the shunter in the first race. My next best will be Go Moon Over Germany in the Red Rum, and then the each way will be Some Man for a bit of value just in the Fox Hunters.
Yeah, I'll
Go.
go for Waiting Patiently, Nap, next best, Bellaway, and each way. Each way. I have nothing really of each way value down there, but I'll throw on Uccello Conte at an outside price of 6 to 1 just for a bit of banter.
Yep. I will nap up Monmural. Next best, I'll go Hitman. And each way, I'll go South.
Yep.
That's it.
Perfect. Good stuff.